Alright, what's going on everyone? Your boy's back. I've been wanting to make this Devora guide for literally like over a year now, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it before MK11 comes out. I don't care. I'm just going to make it anyway. Hopefully it helps some of you guys out. Hopefully this is interesting for you guys to watch because, you know, I've been wanting to make this for a long time, so I thought, why not, let's just do it. So let's just jump straight into it. So the first thing I want to quickly say about Devora is that she has no real set game plan. She can kind of play however she wants for the most part, besides on defense, but like I said, yeah, you can kind of play neutral, you can get in and play offense, you can play mix-up, you can play frame trap throw. Like, she has so many options that you can kind of play her to your own playstyle. So I'm just going to jump into the pros about Devora. So these are all my opinion, by the way. These are the things that I think are good, and I'm going to also mention the things that I think are bad. Obviously, the no-brainer here is her range. So down 4, down 3, like forward 1. Like, all of her normals basically have really, really good range. And a lot of them also don't have a hurt box. So, like, for example, you can't whiff punish down 3. You can't really whiff punish any of these normals because they don't have hurt box on them. Another really important thing to mention is her run speed. It is definitely one of the fastest in the game, if not the fastest. I actually am not 100% sure, but it is definitely one of the fastest. If you combine this with forward 1, the run speed alongside forward 1 is just insane. While she does have great normals and she can get in really easily, she actually has decent counter zoning with puddle as well. So puddle is decent, and wasp grenade is, even though it's really, really slow, it actually isn't too bad to use in the neutral. So combining those two alongside all of her normals and her run speed, she can kind of play however she wants to. Now, outside of neutral and in the footsie game, she has some of the best pressure as well. Considering that she has wasp grenade cancel, she can get plus frames pretty easily. Especially off of forward 1, it's definitely the easiest thing to get plus frames off, and it's a true block string as well. So combining all of that, you know, all her neutral, all her decent zoning, her run speed, and then the fact that she gets great damage as well because she gets forward 1 on the X bug. She pretty much has options to deal with everything in the game. Now I'm just going to get into the things that I think are bad about Devora. There's not many, but there's a few things that I do think she struggles with, so I'm just going to get into those. So one of her biggest weaknesses, in my opinion, it's actually her biggest weakness, is her down 1 is 8 frames. Now, most down 1s are usually 7, sometimes 6, but having an 8 frame down 1 is actually a big weakness. So that's probably the biggest thing that she struggles with. Like, characters that are low minus on her are basically still plus because she can't actually contest back with an 8 frame down 1. So if somebody's like -2 and they have a 6 frame down 1, they literally can just keep going. And it makes it super hard to get out of pressure sometimes. Another weakness of Devora, but this one I'm actually fine with, I think it's completely justified, is just her armor move. It is pretty decent, you know, it's decently fast, the damage isn't bad, but it's just really risky. So it's not always a big threat. When somebody's pressuring you, they're not too scared because they're only eating like 12%. So yeah, that, like, just considering the risk reward, it's like pretty scary to use. But those two things are pretty much the only things I feel like Devora actually struggles with. The rest is completely fine. Now I'm just going to jump into some of her key normals. Everyone already knows that the best Devora normal in the game is definitely just forward 1. It's 12 frames, it's an advancing mid, you can hit confirm it into EX bug, you can get pressure off of it, you can pretty much do everything with this normal. It's literally the god normal of Devora. So 12 frames, combining this with run speed, like I said before, easy damage, it's really easy to get it with Devora because of that. So yeah, forward 1 is definitely the best normal that you want to be using like 90% of the time, to be honest. Forward 1 is definitely a like main pressure starter, but she also has a bunch of good normals that she can use in neutral as well. So if someone's running at you a lot, or you don't want to walk in on zone and you just want to sit back, down 3 is such a good option for that because it has such little recovery, has no hurt box, and a lot of the time people try and jump over down 3 and then they'll just get down 2. So I might as well jump into her down 2 as well. It's 11 frames. As you can see, she's really low to the ground, so that's actually where her hitbox is. And the ovipositors that come out of her back actually don't have a hurt box either. So you're lower to the ground and your anti-air doesn't actually have a hurt box. It's really consistent, and it's super safe to go for as well. Now the last normal I want to mention is forward 2. This one I don't use too much mid-screen, but in the corner it's one of the best normals that she has, because at around this range here where they're like trying to jump out, or if they're trying to approach you at the start of a round, you get pretty much a free forward 2 because it has no hurt box, like I said, and it's only 15 frames. So going for that is probably one of the best options that she has in the corner. So as you can see, pretty much all of her normals are pretty good. Like, all the ones that you really need to be using are really strong, you know. They all lead to like either safe safe hit confirmable launches, or you get pressure, or you get actual damage like this. So definitely use all those normals in your game plan. There is a few unique ones like up 3, back 3, but for the most part, just in a general level, you don't really need to use those just yet. So I just showed all of our normals, so we're kind of just going to talk about neutral now. Devora's neutral is some of the best in the game, so I thought this would be the most important thing to cover, to be honest. So probably the best normal that she has in neutral is her down 3. The fact that it goes so far and it pretty much can't be whip punished is the reason that her neutral, in my opinion, is so strong, you know? Like, a lot of people will try and get in on a down 3 and they'll get anti-air, or they'll just get hit by their down 3 when they're trying to walk in on it. So a lot of the time you can really just stick out down 3 with almost no risk. Another really important normal for you to use as Devora is just her down 2. Like, this is pretty standard for every character, but Devora's is so strong that it's like, as you can see, it hits up really high. So yeah, you should always be ready to anti, especially after a down 3 whiff, like that. So yeah, if you're in the neutral playing with down 3, you can still anti-air in time. That's how good the normal is. So I'll just show you here, whiff down 3, and you still get the anti-air. I forgot to mention this earlier, but you should also be using her down 4 in neutral as well. It's a 9 frame low, and it goes super far. If they get hit by down 4 at any range, you get a free forward 1 as well. So this is a great normal to get in and get pressure started. It's the same with down 3, but down 4 is a low, so they can't actually walk back away from it. Now in some matchups, down 3 and stuff won't always be the best option. Sometimes you will have to get in. And honestly, the craziest part about Devora that is her run speed. So if you ever need to just get in, you can, for the most part, literally just run in forward 1. Like, I've won so many games just by running in as someone with a mid. Because it goes so far, once you get used to the spacing and combining that with their run speed, it's really hard to stop her running in like that. You have to be a little bit worried because people will jump back and punish that, but for the most part, you can literally just run at people with forward 1 and you'll get some offense started. So the last thing about her neutral is that if you use all these normals and, you know, people are starting to just sit back because they're a bit too scared to come in, you can actually still zone a little bit with Puddle. It is a little bit risky because of the recovery of Puddle, but if you've conditioned them enough to stop running in with down 3, you do have the option to start zoning them with Puddle and even like meterless bug or EX bug as well. So for this guide, I'm only going to be covering Swarm Queen because it will take way too long to cover Brood Mother and Venomous as well. And to be honest, I think most people try and play Swarm Queen anyway. So I'm just going to jump into Devora's Swarm Queen specific special moves now. These moves are all in the other variations, but they obviously have different properties. So her Puddle in Swarm Queen is really good because it gives you the option to get a conversion. So even if you're full screen, you can still run up, get the easy conversion, or you can even just use it just to zone a little bit more, still get a conversion if it hits, and it's still plus on block. It's just not really a frame trap tool like it used to be anymore. Now while Puddle is a really good special move, her best special move by far in Swarm Queen is the Wasp Grenade. The reason Wasp Grenade is so strong is that, one, you can use it in neutral as well alongside Puddle to get a little bit of zoning going. It is pretty slow, but it is a mid at full screen, and it also combos into Puddle, so you do have that option alongside the Puddle full screen. But for the most part, you'll be using this up close because it actually is run cancelable. The reason it's so strong that you can run cancel this is that it gives strings more options that you normally wouldn't have. So for example, if you hit 112 as the Swarm Queen, all you get is 17%, right? But because you have Wasp Grenade, you can cancel it and get full combo. Or if you hit forward 1-1, same thing, you get a full combo. The fact that you have so many meterless options to get a combo is the main reason that it's so strong. This works also off of 50-50s, both back 1 and forward 3. You can just get more conversion potential like that you normally wouldn't get. So Wasp Grenade opens up a lot more combo potential. It gives you better pressure. It gives you more meterless combos. It pretty much just buffs all of your strings and all of your normals. It's also a great way to condition your opponent. So using things like forward 2-2 down 1 on block like this, or even like 50-50 into down 1 on block. A lot of these options are really strong, and that's the reason Wasp Grenade cancel, in my opinion, is so strong. So I just showed a few combo examples with Wasp Grenade cancel, so I'm just going to quickly show some pressure examples. So our main pressure string will be a best string forward 1-1-2. This string is really good because it's hit confirmable, and on block you get a true block string. So anytime you do Wasp Grenade cancel, you get a free stand 2, or a free down 4, down 2 even though I messed it up. So yeah, using Wasp Grenade cancel in this is actually plus 12. So you have a lot of advantage here. You can get a free stand 1, you can go for a throw, you can even go for like a 50-50 like this. These 50-50s are unsafe, but they're pretty hard to punish, so using these 50-50s after the cancel is actually pretty good if you condition them well enough. The forward 1-1-2 cancel is plus 12. She also has back 2 cancel, which is plus 8. She has both the low and overhead cancels, which are both safe on block. And she has things like 4-2-2 cancel to kind of condition your opponent. Because she's so far away, you can kind of do like 4-2-2 into like down 3 or down 4 a lot. And you can even cancel sometimes that when you're minus. So like some cancels like 4-1-1 cancel is minus. But you can use these cancels once people are scared enough to press a button that you're going to be able to get a throw off a sneaky throw sometimes, or like, you know, keep your turn with a sneaky minus cancel. One other way to keep your turn with Devourer, it's not something I recommend doing a lot because it is unsafe against like every character. But if you've conditioned them enough to block up to forward 1 and you know you're mixing up your cancels a lot, you're staggering, you're mixing it up a lot, you can actually just store in puddle sometimes. It is risky because they can easily just walk out and punish it with like an advancing string or even an armor move. So it is risky, but like doing things like so say like down 4 puddle or like, you know, forward 1 puddle, like just mixing it up with puddle is always a decent option to throw in sometimes to kind of get your opponent waiting for it and like get them scared to press buttons. Keep in mind, like I said, it is very risky, so don't rely on this, but definitely chuck it in there sometimes. So the next thing I want to get into is Devourer's 50-50s. So they're really, really strong because both of our overhead and low combo into 2-on-2 with a wasp grenade cancel. So say you have someone in the corner or even mid-screen, you can always mix them up really easy with just an overhead or low. And the reason it's really, really strong as well is because one, you get the meterless launcher like this with 2-on-2. But you also can hit confirm it. So if I set them to random attack, and then, so which means they're going to be blocking random, I'll just show you here. So he gets hit, and he blocked, and he's going to EX slide immediately after. So I'll show you what I mean. So that was a hit, block, hit, block. So yeah, you get the idea. It's the same with the low as well. I'll quickly do the low. So there you go. You can see you can hit confirm both the 50-50s. It's really, really strong. Really good options that if you want to mix somebody up, and it's a lot of good damage as well. So those are the 50-50s that you can do if you have stamina. However, you can still mix people up even if you don't have stamina. So she actually has, off of her low, she has back 1-4, which is a low, 10%. Or she has back 1-2, and she can do it into the air throw for 17%. So these are both unsafe. Back 1-2 is unsafe, and back 1-4 is unsafe. But the option to still mix people up is still there because you now have, when you're not using stamina, you have forward 3-4 as well. So this is -8 on block. However, it is really, really hard to punish, so I find myself not really getting punished for it. So yeah, if you hit a forward 3-4, you can just get an easy conversion. Super easy, you know, you get nice, even if you're in the corner, it's really good as well. So if you're in the corner and you 50-50 someone, you know, say you poke out of the corner. So yeah, say you poke out of the corner and you go for the overhead, you get really easy conversion. You get nice damage. That's not optimal, but I'm just showing you an example really quick. You can do this with the wasp grenade cancel as well. Still side switch all the time. So yeah, her 50-50 game is really, really strong considering how safe it is. Alright, last but not least, we're going to quickly talk about Devourer's puddle setups. They're not really as relevant anymore because puddle went from +22 to +3, and there's a lot more recovery now, so it's actually super easy to get out a lot of these setups. But she pretty much only has 2 universal setups anyway, so I'll quickly show you those. So mid-screen, she only really has 2 setups. It's basically you hit a 2-1-2, and then you can choose to do back 2-1 puddle. This is a good meaty, but it is actually really easy to get out of. So, say you hit 2-1-2 puddle and you want to just get a nice close knockdown. Back 2-1 puddle is a pretty good option. It will always meaty like that, but they can really, really easily just you can just backdash out of this. I'll show you here. And you can get chased down though, so that's kind of the risk for it. But yeah, they can backdash out of it, or they can actually just wake up slide, and you actually get punished for it. So as you can see, I'll do back 2-1 puddle again, and if he does the X slide, I'll get punished for it, like that. But yeah, I was trying to block there, but it's punishable. However, it's still a decent meaty option, especially against characters that don't have an armor option to get out of it. So definitely consider using it sometimes if you want to just try and keep your opponent locked down really close to you. Yeah, another really good setup that you can use is actually a back 1-2 ender. It's really, really strong because it knocks them like really far close to the corner. And it pretty much gives you a free meaty puddle like that. So they pretty much get sent full screen and you get a nice meaty with puddle. That's probably one of our best setups mid-screen because 2-1-2 doesn't work mid-screen and back 2-1 is not really as reliable because it's unsafe. But it's still a good option. So now we're in the corner, and this is where Puddle is probably the best. Keep in mind, Puddle has been nerfed quite a bit since the early stages of the game, so it's not something you want to be using too much, but if they don't have the meter, it is a really good option to try and get plus frames. So if you have them in the corner, anytime you hit a 2-1-2, you can just do a really simple back 3, 2-1-2 Puddle, and that will just get meatied by Puddle really easily. It ends up making you plus 3, and it's a pretty good option, especially if they don't have the meter to wake up. It's really, really good in that case, but you have to be careful because if they do have the meter to wake up, they will do it most likely on reaction. So I'll show you, for example, here, if Sub-Zero wakes up Slide, and I go for 2-on-2 Puddle, I can't block in time, so that's unsafe. Any Puddle set up in the corner is unsafe, so you got to be really careful of that. But definitely use it a lot against characters that don't have good armor, or if any armor at all. And some slower armor moves will actually be able to, you'll be able to block in time, so keep that in mind as well. I'm going to get into a combos really shortly, but the last thing I forgot to mention actually is just really practice hit confirms with Devora. So the biggest combo starter is obviously forward 1-1 into EX bug. It gives you so much damage and it gives you a lot of potential corner carry, everything like that. So what I would be doing is going to block mode, random attack, and just practice hit confirming EX bug. You have so much time. It's really, really easy. As you can see, like I just did it super, super easy. I've obviously done it for a long time, but it's one of the easiest hit confirms, honestly. So literally just set it to random attack and practice hit confirming that, and you'll be on your way to hitting all these crazy BNBs with Devora. In terms of game plan and stuff like that, strategy, that's really honestly all there is to Devora. She's pretty straightforward. Once you play her a lot more, you'll kind of figure out your own ways to play her. And the other variations also have their own different kind of game plans. But I'm just going to show you a bunch of BNBs now. I hope this helped you guys out. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, here's all the optimal BNBs that I can think of right now with Devora. I'm just going to touch on EX Bug really quick. It's a very unique special move because you have so much hit stun on it that you can pretty much choose where your opponent's going to end up by the end of the combo. So, say you hit them mid-screen, you have the potential to carry them all the way to the corner like this. Or if you're in the corner, you can just jump out like this and still get your combo. And you can also use the time of EX Bug to actually build meter by using a whiffed air throw. Those are pretty much the 3 variations of the combo. I'm just going to show you all the versions now. So pretty much you have to just decide where you want your opponent to be and what's the most optimal decision for that while you're in the EX Bug hit stun. Well, that's pretty much it. That pretty much covers all of the Vora's B&Bs that I use in game. There's a few conversions that and I didn't put in the video, but you can figure them out. You'll figure it out as you play her. You can also watch all of the sets on my YouTube for like situations and conversions that you won't know yet. But for the most part, that's really the general stuff that you need to learn to play Devora at a decent level. So I put Devora from MK11 up on the screen because that's kind of the main reason I did the guide, was because, like, you know, she's confirmed to MK11. So I thought, why not just get all the MKX info out there and move forward into MK11 with a fresh start. So I hope you guys try out Devora and have some fun with her. Let me know what you guys think of the guide. It was pretty long. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be to make. So please subscribe if you're new. I'm only 40 subs right now away from 1,000. So would really appreciate if you guys help me out there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.